Good morning, Columbus. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's daily dose of digital Torah inspiration here at Sinai Studios, Judaism Today. A lot of people wonder, does God really care about them? Does God really care about what you do in your life? You know, the mitzvos, the Torah, Jewish observance, Jewish rituals have so many details. Does God sweat the small stuff? Does God actually care about the details? There's a remarkable idea that lies in the parshas that we're reading these past few weeks about the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the traveling temple that existed in the desert. And that is, the Torah repeats it 5 times, and it repeats it in great detail and great intricacy, and it talks about how they got the donations and the materials that were used and the exact specifications of the articles that were in the Mishkan, the candelabra and the Mishkan and the table and the menorah, etc., right? The altar. It talks about a lot of the details of what was the uniform that the Kohanim had to wear. It talks about the accounting and the fun. I mean, it's just filled with details. And you know, a lot of people are bothered, like, why is the intricacy? Why so much detail? And moreover, surely the Parshas and Bereshis were so much more interesting. I mean, you read about the stories of Abraham and Isaac, Yitzchak and Rivka, you know, the patriarchs, the Joseph story. I mean, that was a lot more exciting than exactly how these people crafted this traveling temple, the Mishkan. The answer to this question yields a very interesting idea. You see, the Jews were doing something unprecedented. They were trying to bring God's holy presence, which the Torah describes as a consuming fire, down to this earth. They were trying to live with it. You know, in your tent, you had your sort of couch and you're relaxed, and next door tent, you were going to have God. That's complicated. And so what the Torah does is it says, you know what? You can have God. It is possible to do such a thing, but there are complexities and nuances involved. Imagine trying to contain something like nuclear energy. There's a lot of incredibly intricate scientific details involved in retaining that there in a safe way. The Jews had to retain God's presence. That was a lot harder than retaining nuclear energy or something of that magnitude. And therefore, the Torah goes on to articulate all the details and all the safeguards in exactly the way it had to be. But what this reminds us of is that details matter. Details matter not only in containing God's presence in the Mishkan, but in all of our lives, because you see, all of us are in fact also trying to be conduits for God's presence in our lives. And the details which the Torah prescribes in the commandments for us are meant such that God can reside amongst us. That's challenging, that's complicated. But that was the secret of the Mishkan. So next time you think, does God really care about that? Does God sweat the small stuff? The answer is, anytime you're trying to do something big and meaningful, details matter. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Judaism Today. If you did, please make sure to follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, or check into our podcast wherever podcasts are listened to. And we look forward to hearing from you more.